You never thought you'd hear about numerology on the Moneymakers? Well, you are going to now. It's a belief in the divine. It's a mystical relationship between numbers and one or more, maybe, coinciding events. It's also the study of the numerical value of letters in words, names, and ideas. Why, that's complicated. This is the Moneymakers. I'm Bruce Whitfield. Tonight I'm joined by Sandy Smith, who's numerologist at Sandy's Numerology, to discuss numbers and to tell us everything from President Jacob Zuma to Nussbats. But of course, we've got to know that President Jacob Zuma and Pravin Gordhan have something extraordinary in common. Yep, they're both from KZN. Yep, they're both, as far as we know, still in the cabinet together. They also share a birthday, just 7 years apart. But Sandy, I tried to explain in the introduction what numerology is, but I confused myself.
Okay.
Layman's explanation, please.
All right. Everything in life is numbers. Everything you do in your life is numbers. Whether you buy a car, buy a house, your name that is written on your birth certificate, every letter has a numeric value and it tells you of a time that's in your life. So it's the map of your life. Then your date of birth will tell you how you wake up in your day, how you will do your day, and when you put the two together, it describes and gives you all of your characteristics. In my system that I developed, which I've been developing over the past 26 years, it will be it goes much deeper and broader and wider than conventional numerology, because it can actually tell you about your health. It'll tell you about your wealth. It'll tell you if you're going to go to jail, or if you're going to win the lotto, if you're going to get married or divorced, if there's going to be a death around you, if you're going to change careers.
500 years ago, if you'd been in a small village in the north of England, they would have strapped you to a chair, put you at the end of a long pole, and dropped you into a puddle of water until the bubble stopped.
Yep, I'm still called a witch anyway by a lot of people today, but not many, just a few.
How much skepticism is there around the concept of numerology? I don't want to call it a science. Is it a science or is it an art?
It's definitely a science. No, I definitely think it's a science. Okay, because you know, you wouldn't have maths and arithmetic if you didn't have numbers and numerology and interpretation and meaning, etc. But yes, there are skeptics, and there's a lot of people. It's more about being scared, and it's also a lot about what the church has said, and it's about the power of. And in days gone by, it was about the landlord who wouldn't have gypsies on his territory because they had powers, and he wanted to have power over the people, which is the same as what the church is. So there's still a lot of people who are very, very staunch on religion, and yet there's people that are really in such a depth of their religion, and yet you look at rabbis who will do the Hebrew name using numerology, and it's called the Kabbalah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, right. And they use a Chaldean method.
I need some proof.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Jacob Zuma and Pravin Gordhan.
Right.
These are two gentlemen, both born on the 12th of April.
Yes.
They seem to be at each other's throats a little bit.
And that's the important factor, is that what you're doing is two people are actually seeing themselves and reacting instead of responding, where Pravin Gordhan is responding and Jacob Zuma is reacting.
Okay, but so Jacob Zuma was born in 1942, yes. Pravin Gordhan in 1949. Correct. 7 years apart, but on the same day. Now, if I read their horoscope, it would tell me exactly the same thing for both of them.
That's why we call it horoscope. That's really...
Give me numerology around these two.
So the interesting thing is, when you look at their names as well, they've basically got 8s and 4s, and...
how do you get to 8s and 4s out of...
So A is number 1, B is number 2, C is number 3, and you calculate names that way. So the interesting thing is Jacob Zuma is a 5-life path, and Pravin Gordhan is a 3-life path, which changes everything.
What is a 3-life path?
Okay, a 3-life path is when you notice that softness about Pravin and that smile that he's got. There's such a gentle appearance that he has. He's always really rather beautifully presented and dressed, and he's got such a gift with when he speaks. He's got a very soft way, but yet being born in April makes him very, very firm. The difference with Jacob Zuma is that he's got a 5-life path, which is about his arrogance. It's about his coldness. He actually sleeps at night. He does not have any kind of sensitivity to what he does and what's going on.
In my world, we call that a thick skin.
Yes, you could call it a thick skin. It's very cold and it's very calculating, and his 5-life path is about money and power. And so before he even got into power and before he even became deputy president, he had a team of people that were funding him and paying him, that even when he was deputy president, they were paying him. And this is how they got him into and got Mbeki out. And so now they are not funding him anymore, and Zuma's looking at other people that have been funding him. But he's made some very big mistakes because of his arrogance that's actually got in front of him, and he's about his money and power. He's not been able to make good of.
A skeptic would say you just read newspapers and you're really good. You're a really good judge. You're a really good judge of character.
Well, for me to be able, I've predicted that Jacob Zuma would never be a president. He would be the president, but not a president, which is true. I've also predicted...
Never be presidential, you mean?
Oh, far from it.
Okay. All right.
And the interesting thing in his numbers that the legal cases and legal issues would be arising for him from starting from his birthday, July of 2016. But his midpoint of his year is October, November, where they start coming into play. And this is only the beginning of all of his legal issues. It's unsettling his home front completely. He's quite directionless, and I think that he's starting to feel how his safety net that he's had is actually crumbling.
And again, I could have told you that.
Oh, you're so cheeky.
No,
yes, I know. But you can only tell you. I could
so tell me
predict
what's
this
happening
before.
next.
Okay. So the interesting thing is that for Jacob Zuma, his next 4 or 5 years is so critical because every legal
next
issue.
4 or 5 years.
Yeah, no, as a human being.
As a human being. Okay, right.
Versus his legal issues are all going to be playing against him. And the interesting thing that sits here in 2 years' time, he is in probably the worst year of his life, that he's actually in such a lockdown situation. His monetary value is zero. His status is zero. He's going to have a lot of he's going to have to go and live in another country, because I think Nkandla could probably become Walt Disney
Pravin Gordhan.
Pravin Gordhan. So he is the terrible year that Zuma would be only having in 2019. Pravin is having at the moment and will continue until 2018. So if he was sitting in front of me, I'd say to him, watch your back, count with every number that you're given, look at all of your paperwork, don't skip a beat, because it's going to get worse.
I would agree. I would concur.
His getting worse starts now in October. And it's going to get worse by his birthday next year for a period of a year. There's going to be all the deceit and the lies and whatever that's going to get thrown at him. But those people are going to, in doing what they're doing, be exposed. He has to stick it out. He has to stay in his position. He's not allowed to move away. And from his birthday in 2018, it's what I would call rock and roll. His career is going to turn a corner. It's going to be fantastic. No. He's stepping up. He's stepping up.
But there's nowhere up from finance minister, is there?
Well, he could be also putting himself in a position for president or for deputy president, or he could cross the floor like Thuli Madonsela has. He could cross the floor.
Right.
He will be in a brilliant year in 2019.
The rest of us, though, get sucked into this vortex. And that's what a lot of South Africans are really scared of going into next year.
Let's bring a little bit of astrology into here, because what we've got is Neptune is in Pisces, and that is saying that the people shall rise and the people will talk. So this is the whole thing. My prediction was the municipal elections would shift and we would change, and people would change parties from a tactical position, which they did. In 2019, it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be a collective that will be in power versus a party that will be in power. So when you look at somebody like Pravin Gordhan, he's already, people are voting for him. Thuli Madonsela, already people are voting for her. So you will see how things will change. But what we need to do is the people need to see the bad power that we have, and we have the power to make that choice, and that's Neptune and Pisces. But we are in the process of doing that.
I'm smiling and nodding, because Neptune in Pisces or Pisces in Neptune could be Greek. It's
Okay,
astrology.
but Neptune is water and Pisces is water, so Neptune is in its own home.
Right.
And it was in Aries before, which actually asked the world, from whether it's governments or companies or industries, that if your system is not working and if it is old, it needs to change. And if it doesn't change, Neptune will move into Pisces and the people will make it change.
A view on the Rand.
The Rand, fabulous.
Lots of people love currency stories
I
and
love
numerology, currency, it's all there.
And we have a Valentine's baby here. The Rand is born on Valentine's Day,
1961.
1961. And it is in a year which is the same as Zuma, directionless. It's running here and it's running there and it's running backwards and forwards and it's wanting to get onto its highway, and it will. Our Rand has had a backwards and forwards, but on the outside of South Africa, the Rand has been good. So you've always got a home number and an away number, or a work number, or an outdoor number. The outdoor number is favourable. It's indoor, which is in South Africa, it's directionless. But from its birthday, it's rock and roll. It's fabulous. The Rand is going to improve.
Improve. Now, what is your definition of improve? I mean, weaken or strengthen?
No. It's going to, for us as South Africans, it's going to allow us to travel a little bit more easily.
And we can import things more cheaply.
I think so too. And that's going to be, we're going to have a very good stretch, because what will happen in 2019 and what is the process now between the New York Stock Exchange, which is hiding things again, which is about to be exposed, and it's really not good for the New York Stock Exchange from next year. It'll start round about March. So that's going to have a ripple effect. Our Rand is going to improve. Gold is on the upturn, and it's on the upturn all the way through to 2019. So our Rand is good, and our country is good, and I would rather be here than there.
Naspers. I'm picking a company randomly.
I love Naspers.
Because Naspers has been so massively volatile. Lots of forecasts, analyst forecasts. People spend a lot of, who get paid big money to forecast this. Say it's going to be worth a certain number.
Oh, it's going to be awesome. First of all, it's born on my birthday and Nelson Mandela's birthday, the 18th of July, 1925.
You're born in 1925?
No, 19 blah, blah. Okay. So right now, inside of Naspers, inside of the offices and what they control is directionless. They are running around and they're looking for this and looking for that, and they're dealing with a lot of things, and there's a lot of things to deal with foreign. I made a prediction last year to my students who I teach stock market that they would do something technology wise, and they brought in the what's the movie
not Netflix, but the other one.
Yes, the other one. Okay.
The other one.
Business-wise, out there in the marketplace, really, really good. And I'm telling you, from their birthday next year, they're going into one of their finest years. And it'll be there for 2 years. But I mean really, really good. They're going to have buy-ins and buy-outs and mergers and partnerships and deals. And it is awesome.
I'm a little bit prickly, I'm a little bit uncomfortable, I'm a little bit shaken up, but Sandy Smith, the numerologist at Sandy's Numerology. What do you make of that? Tweet me, give me your views on it. I'd be fascinated to see your opinions on the analysis based on numerology of Sandy Smith. More numbers to crunch and dissect on future shows. For now, though, have a very good evening. Bye-bye.